August 31st, a couple of doctors wanted some feedback about how to save lives. So I sent them a little information, which they already know. These are doctors. So I sent this one up here for them. Little video I made.
My name is Gary Thompson. I suffered a herniated disc and my meds were cut off. I went to the emergency department and the ED physician prescribed Tylenol 3s, which would not cut through the pain levels I was at. I asked them to get the resident psychiatrist. I explained to him that the pain levels were so high that suicide is an option. He prescribed the proper medications. A problem is when a person's pain meds are cut off and they finally get back onto their regular pain meds, overdose is a very strong issue. In many health districts, they're teaching chest compressions, naloxone chest compressions. It's supposed to be rescue breathing here and naloxone continue rescue breathing. If you don't have naloxone, rescue breathing until EMS arrives. The medical boards should be getting out of telling MDs how to manage their patients.
You betcha. So, they've empowered millions of laypersons. Have been published in the newspapers all the signs of respiratory emergency, and then give chest compressions on them. It's one of my articles in the medical literature. This is hyperlinks to all the contraindicated training literatures that public health has been pushing out since 2011. Anyway, it's a no-brainer. And then you got Dr. Aaron Orkin here. April the 11th, 2018. Emergency physician.
We know that when you teach people rescue breathing, that it is what we call a high...
Thinning hair can mean shrinking.
Oh, we got a little commercial. Okay, makes your hair grow. Jeebers. Does it really? What else does it do? You know.
Or high level of training intervention. It's something that if you learn it quickly and you learn it sloppily, you don't perform it optimally, it simply doesn't work at all. It doesn't do anything. And it might actually detract from other interventions that are extremely effective. So what I will say is this. Airway management and rescue breathing may be effective under some circumstances. It's a big and important part of what I do, but it's one of the hardest things that I do as an emergency physician. And it's one of the hardest things that paramedics do in a pre-hospital setting, especially if they want to do it well. Expecting the general public to take on that skill in order to address an epidemic that is sweeping across our communities is, I think, really quite an overwhelming challenge. And we have lots of science, lots of data that shows that when we ask that of people, when we expect the public to take on interventions that are so challenging, so complex, and so difficult to do well, sometimes people freeze.
You betcha they freeze. Because this guy's told them, oh, this guy's alive, what do I do, what do I do? He's taught millions of people to give chest compressions, and people are going, what the heck am I doing? I'm freezing here because this person's alive. What am I supposed to do? This is the original story down here from the CBC. Aaron Orkin was interviewed with. Controversial change. Well, there's never been any EMS. They see hundreds of respiratory patients before they ever run into a cardiac arrest situation. It's rescue breathing, because a doctor can't tell what the cause of, except give air ASAP, diagnose, then treat the underlying cause. And this is a new protocol made 2018 that they've taught people to do. Well, that's wrong too, because step 3 should be rescue breathing here for 100 sound medical reasons. And then you may give naloxone, because they could wake up with the rescue breathing alone. You don't have to give naloxone. Rescue breathing and or chest compressions. Worst possible thing you could do, chest compressions only for any respiratory emergency. Anyway, it's advanced cardiac life support. Didn't they tell you to do this again? Yeah, there's that Aaron Orchid. He threatened me years ago. Man's a maniac. And then you got this here man, Pierre. He's the director of the Canadian EMS.
Somebody who is unconscious, maybe lying on their back, is that they have a blocked airway, and that they're unable to breathe, and that by just doing chest compressions, you may not actually be providing the oxygen to the brain. So you actually may have a brain death, and really that's a serious situation. Sometimes you have people who may be resuscitated through chest compressions who may actually end up in ICU, who may be actually brain dead, that their brain function has been impaired because of lack of oxygen.
That's 100% right, because your heart doesn't stop from a respiratory emergency. You're severely brain dead. You need advanced cardiac life support methods, and the chances of survival are very, very slim. It's not a cardiac arrest caused by heart disease. Co-author Dr. Aaron Orchid here. This is from the Canadian Journal of Public Health, 2013. And then you got down here in small print, Dr. Lori Morrison. She wrote the 2010 resuscitation guidelines on poisoning, which says respiratory assist, respiratory assist. Then you may give naloxone. Naloxone doesn't always work. And if your heart stops, you need advanced cardiac life support methods, which they've known about forever. And this is the protocol they had back there, 2013, with my little notes in here. Blue, yes sir. Dying lack of oxygen, chest compressions, and then more chest compressions. Utter nonsense. They're killing mostly non-drug overdoses. Then you've got my comment up here in the 2015 guidelines. There's a video explanation. And this is all the science they've been teaching people. That's a respiratory emergency. Your heart's beating proves it. Don't even have to check for a pulse. Anyway, this is the training literature. Chest compressions only, chest compressions only. There's the 2010 guidelines. Yes, sir. Anyway, there's 50,000 poisonings per year in Ontario. Population of 14 million. 28,000 of them are children. Any poisoning, food poisoning, drug overdose, they get air. Air, air, air. And then you got Michael Daly down here. Third paragraph. He doesn't know what to do with rescue breathing. No, I don't know. I'm an emergency physician. He's telling the cops down here. Yeah, he's telling the cops to give chest compressions, yeah, or CPR. Hands only CPR. Never, 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 ever. Yeah, that's what I sent as a response to him. He's already published in here. Yeah. Respiratory depression or respiratory arrest. That's right. And there's all kinds of mimics in here. This is Goodlow, friend of here daily. Of course, there's all kinds of mimics that the doctor can't tell. And then we got these expert advisors down here. That's your politicians. and other doctors. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Emily Oliver of the Red Cross Great Britain wrote a little comment in there. More research is needed regarding the educational effectiveness of the guidelines. Anyway, so I sent a little response, which the AA, American Heart Association, the moderator didn't post. So nurses see drug overdose all the time, terminally ill are kept comfortable, overdose narcotics, cause of death, respiratory failure. Then I sent her the guidelines here from Europe, which states rescue breathing, yes sir, and that'll jump to the advanced cardiac life support methods. So we go back over here to the docs, and Aaron Orkin was in the 2015 AHA guidelines. He was a co-author. It's right here. Part 10, Special Circumstances, Dr. Aaron Orkin. And he mentions down here, see, resuscitation part 12.7, poisonings was covered there. Anyway, talks of so all the poisoning, it says refer to the 2010, which is a good idea because that's correct. Then he put in here, this is from the 2015, Aaron Orkin was co-author of. This is what he says to do. CPR, naloxone disease is all mixed up. It's got people mixed up because naloxone doesn't do anything if the patient's in cardiac arrest. Jeepers. Yeah, anyway, utter nonsense. Published. This is the original article they asked me to put a response to. And he's a psychiatrist, jeepers, where he sees all that information. These doctors need to be locked up. They're criminally insane. And then Denise Cameron, she's an MD, an anesthesiologist, which overdoses you on all kinds of different medications, and the only thing keeping you alive during surgery is ventilations. Basic first aid. You could be a doctor not knowing that, because any 10-year-old child knows. They teach it in Boy Scouts and Girl Guides. Breathing emergency air, SEP. This is Dr. Lori Morrison from the 2010 AHA guidelines on toxic ingestions. Here's co-author, and this is page 840. Toxidromes. See any sign of drug overdose through poisoning or injury can mimic a drug overdose. This is what she says to do for opioid overdose. Basic life support, yes sir. Get them before you have to do advanced cardiac life support. Administration of naloxone can reverse, because it doesn't always work. Anyway, bag valve mask, rescue breathing for lay persons. Some persons may require much higher doses. Oh yes, you bet. And if you're just going to give them naloxone, you might as well just give them up. Keep them ventilated until the drugs wear off. You betcha. Anyway, stop making yourself sick, because these doctors, that's a psychiatrist, I sent the response to, they're killing everybody on purpose, just like Nazi Germany. And why watch y'all make yourself sick? Denial. Oh, they're killing everybody. Well, you speak up, you before you get yourself murdered. This is the Toronto District School Board. Yes, sir. School teachers, they've taught all kinds of people. It's nonsense, and it's just loading up there. Anyway, this is... I tried to get all these people won't talk to me. They said, oh, we're busy, busy, busy. Anyway, Toronto Public Health. Bunch of crazy people. Toronto Public Health. Teaching them. Do this. In French and English. That's what they give to high school teachers. You think the high school teachers would have more brains than this to know that that person's alive? Could be any breathing emergency. And then they tell them to do that. Ooh, chest compressions all over the place. Kill the students. Yes, sir. Hope the students don't have asthma. So they're going to be giving them the chest compressions that ought to do. Because sometimes asthma puffers don't work, EpiPens don't work, you get a severe case. Anaphylactic shock, you're going to have to give them some air. And this recovery position down here, jeepers, 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 there's not enough oxygen, everything's dying, lack of oxygen. Jeepers. Hope you don't get school, Mr. School Board. They do it in French too. Ooh, yeah, teach French people how to kill people. I think the French got more brains. Yeah, anyway. Then you got down here, voice recording at a conference. Moss Park, the leads on that were down there talking about what they do for an overdose. And this is the stats they gave for 168 resuscitations they did. Yes, sir. 67% oxygen only, didn't have to give them the naloxone. And 30% oxygen and naloxone. 15% of them, naloxone was ineffective. Anyway, you're all making yourselves sick, I don't know, because it's called workplace harassment. All these nurses know it's wrong. And they're killing you, costing you hundreds of billions of dollars. And then you got the most simplest thing in the world, Nathan Herrick.
This is naloxone hydrochloride. We commonly refer to it as Narcan. It's used in opioid addiction, or opioid overdoses, normally in people who are addicted. Heroin, some prescription narcotics overdoses. The way that it works, there's multiple different routes to go through, and we give it when someone's not breathing on their own. So if you do encounter someone in this before a paramedic's on scene, you're just going to provide rescue breaths either with a bag valve mask, mouth to mouth, or if you have a mouth barrier device to use. And then, like I said, multiple routes. A lot of times people with heroin addictions, they don't have good veins. So what I have screwed on here right now is our atomizer, and all we do when we're administering Narcan is we actually can just stick it up a nostril, and then we just push it right through there. And they usually get, you know, a dose in each nostril. And what we're doing, our main goal with it is not to bring them up right away. It's actually to get them to breathe on their own more normally. If we wake them up too soon, we can cause them to either become violent, they can vomit, or have some sort of reaction that way. And we want to make sure that that airway is protected, because the big problem with narcotics is they're not breathing appropriately, and that's what's killing them. So our goal is to get them to breathing, and if you encounter someone and don't have Narcan, you just got to breathe for them.
Correct, which they did long ago, before they ever got naloxone. They give you air. Some doctors still don't give you naloxone. And it's terrorism. It's workplace harassment, terrorism. Because every nurse knows it's wrong. Bullying in the workplace. Following doctors' orders as they're getting their own family members killed that suffer any breathing emergency. Your morgue's full of non-drug overdoses. And then there's thousands more left with permanent brain damage, causing a dysfunctional society. Stop living in denial and save your own lives. 2016 and 2017 add them up. 1,000 doctors, other healthcare providers wrote a letter to these people and told them to stop murdering everybody in Ontario. Anyway, because it's an old parade, right? And all these people, I talk to these people too. Crazy. Getting their own family members killed except for any breathing emergency. Anyway, I sort these letters and they're all crazy. And anybody I watch, you make yourself sick, you know. So they're murdering everybody, Yeah, well, you better stop doing it because you're going to be next. You know, might have an injury, get an illness, or then there's millions of people going to do what a doctor told them to. Kill you with chest compressions when you're alive and dying like a oxygen.